All right, welcome to the Brown-Eyed Woman Solo 1 tab analysis. So let's break this down. The song is in E. We're going to use the same chords as the verse. So we'll see a pickup of kind of what he's doing in the intro, just in a different rhythm. So here we go. All right, so here it's really close to the intro. He's just adding another 6/4 in here, repeating, and see he's accenting different notes. And again, this is the feel. Some notes will be shorter with the staccato and accent, and this is just a feel-based thing where we'll really start to see in Mayer's playing that he's really picking up, and it's incredible. Jerry Garcia was very famous for this type of playing, and this jam band-esque sound is just really hard to teach. It's a lot of feel, but we can break down the notes per se. Just know they're not all the same velocity, and so let's just look at the music theory behind it. Okay, so here we are in C sharp minor. We're in E, same thing, moving into C sharp minor. Okay, so nice. Okay, so he's really just outlining the chords, okay? So we're in E, then C sharp minor, then E here, okay? So this is all going to be basically the same scale, okay? So we do the intro, and right now we're in C sharp minor, but he's just in the E. So we're like in the B.B. King box of E, basically. And he's just doing a full bend, right? And here is, so here's a chromatic note, and he added one here of the 7, right? And here is just a minor third to the third of E, and he's basically, this is the C sharp minor. It's hard to see under here, but here's the C sharp minor measure, and we're moving to E. So he's setting up with the space here, he's setting up the E. So with the minor third, oh, naturally our ear is going to hear that. And then, as you know from the intro, this is a nice feeling of E. He likes to stay down in the 4s and the 2s of E. And he'll do the 1, 3, 5 and go up here. So he's basically just going up the scale, right? So 1, 3, 5, 6, he'll nail a bunch of those. And then, as you see, he starts to set up each measure, and he's just following the chords. So here we are in E, he's setting up with the minor third. Basically, he's hitting the thirds of each scale tone, right? So we're in E, cool, he's gonna nail that third, boom. And once he nails it, we're actually in C sharp minor at this point. Then boom, he's gonna nail the third into the E. And then he comes up here, and then boom, he's going to nail the third into the B, right? So, and he's setting it up, nailing the third right before we land on it, so your ear hears it, and you hear that natural feeling. And it's amazing he's able to do this all improv, right? So this will see a pattern you'll start to see. The 7, the 8 and the 7, like if we were to go down here to the 8 and the 7, that outlines this major, like a bar chord on the 7, right? So 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7. We're able to just take the top end of the bar chord, the 7, 7, 8. So he's just eliminating this B string and just hitting the G and the E with the 8 and the 7. And a cool way to build this up and to add any ad-lib things is to, here I can move that, is to hit the 8 and the 7, any major one that you're doing. If you start with that, then you go up 2 frets, so the 9 and just 1 fret up here. So you go 9, skip 1, 9. Then you go up 2 frets, 11, skip 1, 11. So these are 3 different patterns. So you go 8, 7, and the next one is 9, 9. Next one is 11, 11. And you can do that backwards, 9, 9, then 8, 7. And you'll see this in all of the solos that he's starting to do now. This is kind of an ad lib. So he goes 8, 7, And he kind of skips the 9-9, but he hits the 9 for a second to slide up all the way to the 11-11, right? So now he is basically setting this up. So he's hitting the half because he's going 1, 3, and he's going the half bend up to this 12th fret, which hits the 4. And he's setting it up to this next A right here. So the A, this position, so the A is right here. It's like the D position of A, right? So here's the A, and he's just climbing down the scale. Okay, so he's really just climbing down the E scale, but he's really making sure that he's hitting this A note here. Another cool version of, remember earlier we were talking about the 8-7? So if you were to move that same thing, but move it down a string, and this is the note you're really going to highlight. So if we're going to move an A, we find A and kind of do the same version. But here, so we go 10 and 11, right? So I'm on the D string on the 11 and the 10 here. He's just doing the same version as you can see here, 11, 10. Now we're outlining this A chord, right? And he's just falling down the E major scale because we're in E, right? So boom, boom, he's really nailing that A. So let's listen to that. All right, so he finishes that idea, and now he's just starting to set up the C sharp minor. In his mind, he's just thinking E. So he's doing the riff, basically, which is like the E, the 3rd, then the 5th, then the 1. And so you'll see this throughout the whole thing, that he does the 1, the 3, the 5, and then the 1. And now he just follows his hands around that area. Okay, so here is minor 3rd to the 3rd chromatic tone, right? So this is very country-esque. So you add this, just know where that lies. It's lying here, right? So he's thinking E in his head, or C sharp minor, but basically he's just thinking E because it's C sharp minor, the same thing, right? So he is just setting it up, again, setting it up to the E. Here we are. So here is the minor 3rd to the 3rd, like he was doing earlier. Up here, he was setting it up, right, with the minor 3rd, the G to the G sharp, and then the B. And if you notice down here, G to the G sharp to the B. It's the same thing, right? So this is a nice country lick where you bend the 11th fret, hold it, then hit the 12th fret, and then bend it back. Cool. And then you just land on the E. All right, so then the solo is ending on A. So what's the best way to go to A? Okay, cool. Here's the same idea of what we're doing, hitting the top part of that bar chord, right? The 6, 5. All right, let's land on it. All right, now that's cool. So he's landing on that, and instead of going up to like 7, 7, and 9, 9, he's going to do this really cool lick. And let's remember this lick. 6, 5, okay, cool, boom, boom. Then he's going to hit 7, 5, then the chromatic 3, the minor 3rd, and the 3rd, just like we saw in here. But now he's doing it in the A. So this is a really cool lick. So you string skip, then we go 7, 5, then 5, 6, 5. So this I would get under your fingers. This is a really cool lick. So this could be like lick 1, and you can move this around anywhere, and we'll see this in his solos of where he's going 6, 5, 7, 5, 5, 6, 5. We'll see that a lot. And that's just a really cool lick of where we're string skipping, we're doing a pull off, a hammer on, then back. So it's just really well done. This is a Jerry Garcia lick. Beautiful. And then he's basically just going to move into E, right? So he's setting up E over here. So he's like, all right, I'll just get my hands in the position. As you know, in E, he just likes to stay around the 4s and the 2s, right? So he's outlining, again, setting up with the minor 3rd and the 3rd for the E. But he's going to punch in a 2, 2 here, which is A, since we're in A. So he's going to throw that out real quick and then do a E run. So it's just really brilliant. So this is an A. This is technically like in B, E, A, E. So you could break it down like that, or it could just be a run that's kind of in E. But right here, it stops on A. So he's in A, and then he just kind of sets up the ear for an E. So listen to it. A, E. Just kind of like gaining tension, right? So he's playing in kind of E over here, then boom. Then he just hits the minor third right here. So he's hitting the 4, minor third, 4, minor third, major third. So again, adding some more tension, and this is very like country-esque, where you hit the minor third into the major third. Also blues, many things. So here he's on E, and that's it. And then you get the chromatic tone back into the verse. So that's kind of the breakdown of solo 1, and we'll see a lot of these patterns happening coming up in solo 2. So it's much easier to break down and try to see the idea of what he's thinking and what's happening. So hope you learned something new.